Good morning. Sorry I'm running late. Just a ton of shit going on today. All right. Let me get the Discord audio up and running. All right. I think that's working. Morning, guys. Ding ding and all that. Did I miss anything fun yet? No. All right. Nasdaq's plummeting again already. Uh, 4,100. Interesting. Moved up a bit. I'm just gonna try and catch this bounce on the gap. Things still look, yeah, things still look pretty bearish. At least on most of the time frames. Well, you can see for everyone, I say hope your mom is well. If you need anything, we got you. Thanks, Draxix. Yeah, she's fine. Um, I just gotta figure out some things with like her situation for the next few days. Uh, but after that, she'll be okay. She had to have like a little like procedure for her arrhythmia. So she's like gonna be kind of weak for a couple days, and then she should be fine after that. I don't know if it was like the full on ablation. Something else, maybe. Yesterday you said there were calls that they want to close profitably. Where was the concentration of those calls? 4,100. What expiration? Mixed. They were kind of all over the place for 419, 421. Some of them were for today. There were a decent number of them out on like May 19th, and then strikes in between. I didn't check. Her heart couldn't keep up the thrill of driving her Lexus. Way to go, Gerg. I think they gave her like a new medication or something, and it set off like an ischemic attack or something. They said, but anyway, she's great now. Her heart rate's everything's back to normal, but she's gonna need some help around the house for a couple days. So I'm gonna try to hire her a nurse a little later this afternoon. They're 3 hours behind, so. Nasdaq shooting higher. There's similar degree of options present there. No. I would say Nasdaq's probably the weaker of the two indexes right now. I know Netflix moved up this morning on an upgrade. Also, I think Netflix has earnings. Do they have earnings today? I can't remember if they have earnings today or not. They might. I'll have to check that out. 418 for Netflix. Okay. Yeah, I'm still hanging on to the call hedge for a minute. I really don't want to dump it till we confirm this is going to break down. It's up like, I mean, I'm up about what, $10 from yesterday's entry, $13. So I'll give it a minute. I don't want to get blown out, you know, selling it too early in the day and the trend reverses on me, right? That happened a couple times this week where I sold at the morning high and then we ended up moving higher. Into like the later part of the day. Like we'd have that like morning peak and I'd sell. And then we'd, you know, dip and I'd close the put side and then we'd fucking rock it. So I don't want to get fucked over again on that. Most days it didn't matter much, but there were a couple days where it was a big difference. Why is Upstart MOASsing? It's really not. Upstart has very positive beta because it's illiquid as fuck. Are you ready to open 700 BPS down tomorrow morning? That'd be cool. I don't think that's going to happen. It would be really cool, though. What do you think about bear call spread for Upstart? Sell 20, buy 23, 512. Nice credit. With SLD next week, it should go down. That doesn't seem too bad. As an actual 13, not 13 times 100, right? Well, I have 40 90s from yesterday. Yaga. I guess it would be times 2500. Fubo up a lot this morning. Let's go. Is now a good time to buy puts on TSM? I don't know. I thought the saber rattling was calming down a little bit. Well, I mean, my calls are up, but my fucking 40-90 puts are down. Right? That's unfortunately how straddles work. Please buy calls. Pathetic bulls. I think we should have some 0DT data in a few minutes. But right now, yeah, kind of looks like some calls are coming in the 4120 to 4130 range, but puts are coming in the 4090, 4080 range. So that'll be interesting. Kind of split interest so far on those 0DTs. Did I hear you say Netflix may acquire Fubo? No. But maybe. Jimmy gonna do exactly what it did yesterday? It depends on what the market does. Probably finish clearing out the ETF FTDs pretty soon. Nvidia dead. It's very close to gamma neutral. Fubo can't be acquired by anybody because Atomic already owns the float. Ryan Cohn about to hostile take over Tupperware and bag a whole new group of people. Oh, Jesus, I hope not. Tupperware's problem is no one's fucking buying it, right? Did someone say Amazon Netflix bidding war for Fubo? I can't confirm or deny. Holy cow, I just heard from a very reputable source that Netflix is going to acquire Fubo. That's fucking crazy. What's your Fubo PT if acquired? I think they're worth like 1.2 to like 1.5 billion. Roughly. That's a really rough estimate. Dumb boss interrupted me listening to the stream. Did you answer when's next big earnings week question? The next big earnings week? I think mega caps start towards the end of this month. Yeah, Amazon's out on April 27th. I think Apple's shortly thereafter. Apple's on May 4th. So yeah, all right around the end of April, beginning of May. I know Tesla's is on the 19th, I believe. It seems like Netflix is on the 18th. I don't know when Meta is. Hmm. Well, 1 second. All right. Spicy filled breakout on what? Why is the average down 616 Nvidia puts before earnings at this point while it's still elevated? Could be. So June 16th. I'd still hedge earnings. I just ran the RC tweet through my rug puller decryption tool. He's planning to buy BBWI. He's going to merge BBY with BBWI to form Bed, Bath, and Body Works and Beyond. Oh, Jesus. Let's go buy some Fubo once SLD hits. What's the new GN on NVIDIA? I mean, it probably hasn't changed much. $262. 94. So still about 65, 67. Well, 83 cents off. It just keeps moving. RC treat same like hostile takeover. Maybe. Netflix acquires GameStop, who acquires Fubo, who then acquires Nvidia to acquire the S&P 500. Bullish. Possible we just trade sideways until mega cap earnings. Save for an all-out war in Taiwan. I sat out recently and glad I did because I would have bought 400 Ps and got burned. You really do like to buy your calls and puts way the fuck out of the money, don't you, Hazy? The lottery ticket gambling system's generally not a good path to profitability, even if it works in the short term. It doesn't last usually. Zero DTE straddled here. Let's ride. Okay. RC tweet same like JWN puts. I don't think it has anything to do with Nordstrom's. Probably. I was thinking Macy's. Although he's a bit broke for Macy's, I don't know if he could really leverage any significant interest there. Yeah, he already bought into Nordstrom's. No, not Kohl's. Kohl's is too expensive. You gotta remember, the dude's only got like fucking $1 billion or something. I guess GameStop's up right now, but he's not gonna sell that. Levi, rough earnings recently. Something I'd consider an American brand. Yeah, that's a possibility. Expensive though, right? Really expensive. $6 billion market capitalization. 600 million to get 10%. Pricey. I used to think a billion was a lot. It's like the law of large numbers. People don't understand the scope of money. Unless you have like a lot of normalization of it, then a billion does seem like a lot. I'm gonna go build $1 billion company and then only allow 50K shares outstanding. Why not just 50? Why not just 10? Same like Berkshire, yeah. Who wants to be a millionaire in 2023 is just a tax write-off? If I had $1 billion, that would be a lot. I mean, but $1 billion is not a small amount of personal wealth, right? Obviously. It's not a huge amount of personal wealth either. Gold pumping kind of hard. Yeah, it's been doing that a lot lately. It's more wealth than 99.9% of people have, but it's like 100 times less wealth than 0.001% of people have, right? I'm getting married tomorrow. I'm gonna be a dad in 9 months. Nice, man. Congratulations. So it's safe to say Bobby market cap is worth about 2 Popeyes biscuits, or is that overvalued? I don't know. It depends on how fresh the biscuits are. Since we've all got things to do today, let's just ask the bulls for an early call capitulation so we can go hit 40-50 and then we'll all meet back tomorrow morning. That'd be cool. Good time to short AMC or too risky at the moment? Why? There's a million other things you can short that are actually worth it. One sec. She's gonna be a long day. Alright, so what are we doing? We're still just chopping. Yes, looks like it's kind of hung up on resistance here. Still getting a little more bearish. Alright. This chop is kind of crazy. It's in a very tight range. Is it okay to be already bored? Probably. This is kind of grindy. We're almost at the point where the SPX starts looking like Fubo. No one knows what to think today. They need more data. Have anything else coming out today? Initial jobless claims look like shit. And core PPI and PPI are down. And they're decreasing month over month. But I think part of this is the effect that everyone knows that with durables demand up, like PPI is going to go back up, right? So I don't think the market's weighing the PPI very. I mean, it's pretty obvious that they're not weighing it very heavily, right? I guess we have the 8 and 4 week auctions later. We got the 30-year auction at 1 o'clock. That might be important. Yeah, everyone knows energy is going to be hotter next month. Excluding energy, PPI is flat. Yeah. Thanks, Bob. $1 not sad when rates go up. Food was actually up a decent amount today. Interesting. Greg. Just admit it. MOASS will happen this month. Why? There's no MOASS. Emergency rate hike at Dixie 100. I don't know if they need to do an emergency one. But you're very close to seeing plumber poopy hands feet, right? Are you excited? Do you have the lotion ready? I took like 20% on some zero GTUs. This chop is making me too uncertain. It's moderately uncertain. Hmm. Let's see if there's any more information. Um, Lots of call interest at 4,100 coming in. A little ramp up there. Oh, it still looks pretty bad. I'll just wait it out. I'm so fucking bearish. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see anything that looks super bullish right now. Hmm. Oh, I wanted to add. There it is. Jitsi Poo, yo, Pickle Jar Diablo 4 clan. Interesting. Maybe. Fubo Q1 earnings May 5th. I think so. I don't know if they've announced it yet officially. Are GME ETF FTDs done after today? Yeah. Is Uncle Bruce right about being able to semi-retire by selling cover calls on large enough portfolio? It seems lofty, maybe because my portfolio is too small. I mean, yeah, if you can live off 1 or like 0.5 to 1% yields a week, then you can. Fubo earnings 5.5 pre-market. Thanks, Atomic. Tupperware up 15%. Cool. Is this Ryan Cohen's new play? I really hope not. That company's a piece of shit. Seems like he's selling that dream real hard. Alright. I've never really watched Uncle Bruce very much. Last time he was selling SPACs real hard. Although selling the covered call dream in a bear market seems equally as bad as selling SPACs at the peak of a bull market. He's not great with the timing. Isn't Tupperware owned by Newell? I don't know who owns it. What's your opinion of the Container Store? It's overpriced garbage. Vix, Vix, Vix. What about it? Hmm. Let's have this to the same period, right? There we go. Are you tasting that sweet 4125 nectar today? I don't know. There's some call volume coming in. Quite a lot of call volume coming in. Hmm. I want to say yes. Well, I at least want to buy a call. Oh, did I miss the boat? Let's I'm telling you, RC's gonna buy Wish and reverse the reverse split. Ridiculous. I find it interesting that we have these two data sets and the Fed saying we would have a 0.5 hike if not for the banking issues. And somehow the market hasn't skipped a beat. VIX almost 18. Where is DN positioning for SPY going into tomorrow's bank earnings? For SPY? Are the bank earnings after market close? SPY is just above delta neutral. 408.04. Why is Jimmy still going up? The fucking market's rocketing. Why is everyone surprised when the market's rocketing and they're like, oh my god, Jimmy's up 6 cents? What's happening? What the fuck do you think is happening? You see SPX SPY remaining flattish through earnings? Probably not. Are you here tomorrow? Yeah. This is the pump before the drop. Please say yes. We'll see. I mean, most of this is driven by zero GTEs, but they can be persistent. We don't know yet. I'm not seeing any, like, longer-term call interest rebuilding after yesterday. Mm. On 30. Hold on. Trying to check tomorrow's expiration. Oh yeah, there's some call buying going on. Interesting. Hmm. Yeah, this is why I waited it open to close my straddle. Because it keeps doing this shit where they fucking pump it when volume's low. Have you closed it now? No. I think it's safe to say the bulls aren't going to stop. Call profitability down. Words like recession officially used. The day we drop will be a full bull day until it isn't. Thanks to the prediction. The market needs to die already, and JPAC can officially go fly all the kites. Can you hack RC's Twitter and post that RC is going long SPX? So my puts print, please. Lol. What's up? That's how I feel today about everyone bringing up RC and what company is gonna buy. Like any of you fucking know. Should just Schroeder said he thinks it's express. Who gives a fuck? I can't read pictures. Oh, Jesus. SPX pumped to 41.25. Get rejected, then we fill the overnight gap. Are you sure about that? I'm just still pretty bearish if this breaks down. I just don't know if this is gonna break down today. It's got some pretty decent momentum to the long side. It's futures that don't look so hot. But all they have to do is come in and buy those, right? Hold on. Not my door. How you doing, buddy? What's new and good in your life? Doing all right. How are you, Walford? The BBY subreddit is freaking out about the RC tweet as if he didn't sell last year. It's absolute lunacy over there. Those people are fucking insane. It's like it's the strongest like denialism I've ever seen. Even the company has basically told them that they're gonna go fucking bankrupt. You know the market needs to die already. This is akin to that person who keeps their pet alive on life support. Like it's blind, deaf, riddled with arthritis, has been on the brink of death for months now. Just let the fucker die so we can rebuild. They should have done that a long time ago, honestly. Bobby is down 700 BPS, aka 2 cents. uh, you know, its float is like almost 500 million shares now. It's over 500 million shares? You're shitting me. They've 10x'd the size of their float since last August. Why would anybody ever buy that? Do they not understand how squeezes work? RC's definitely talking about Wetzel's Pretzels. It is a great American brand. If they could read, they'd be mad. Jesus fucking Christ. It's just annoying at this point. They can still allow the markets to die and rebuild from the ashes, yet everyone always wants to keep the party going. That's because they don't want to lose money. If the market just crashes, then everyone loses a bunch of money. The average person thinks that a company's value equals the notional dollar amount of their stock, i.e. HD greater than Apple because the stock price is 2x. Yeah, but Bobby's stock price is 32 cents. Or, like, what is... Oh, I don't even know what it is anymore. It might be lower. It's 26 cents now. It's almost Revlon actually out of business and on the brink of destroying their shareholder equity is only worth 5 cents less a share than Bobby. I think the warrant shares that were converted into commons are held and not being traded, so they wouldn't add to the liquidity to stop a squeeze. I wish I was joking. Yeah, it's really obvious that they don't understand what a death spiral is. BMG, you keep getting muted. Stop cursing at the market. You know the market needs to die already. Wait. That's not right. Did you get a sign on Upstart PS? Puts? The CSPs? No? Why isn't this going through? Ah. Fuck it. Just tell Nancy and everyone else in Congress is selling everything and buy a fuck ton of puts. They'll make it happen. You just gotta be patient. Bulls are hard to kill. I think what everyone forgets about this is like the people playing SPX don't lose money, right? I kind of tried to explain this to someone last night. If the market moves against them, they just move the market back, right? They're extremely large and they do what the fuck they want. You're here for the ride. You're not gonna be able to influence what they do. Everyone's stuff going on about Tupperware. I don't give a fuck what Cohen buys. They have so much fucking money. Not only do they have so much money, they know how to leverage it perfectly to use the least amount of money possible to get exactly what they want. How large are we talking? Like extremely large language model large? Larger. 1,000,000x. A single institution reducing their overall holdings by 5% would drop the market 150 BPS. Imagine if BlackRock sold off 30% of their equity ownership. Exactly. Armageddon. I signed on some Upstart CCs this morning. Nice, man. RC has a very consistent record of buying bad companies. Yeah, and a consistent record now of doing nothing with them. Where do we reject and pull back? I already said I'm not sure if we're going to. If we do, it'll be around here. Or more calls will just come in. Oh, hey, look, it rejected. Gonna lean put heavy on the Strato with bank earnings? No, I have enough puts. How many of them are even in the morning? All of them in the morning? Alright. That'd be interesting. It's not all the banks, though. It's just a couple, right? Tomorrow's Friday? Oh, is it? Fuck. I really need to pay attention to what day of the week it is. BAC and GS are on Monday. Alright. That breakdown sucked balls. No, I'm not streaming bank earnings. Okay, so it's JPM, Citi, Wells, PNC, and BlackRock. Thanks, Carl. Was that a stop hunt now on SPX SPY? No, I think the momentum's breaking down on the short term a little bit. But on the long term, I think it carries up. So maybe just some chop here, but probably more upside later. For SPY contracts, the delta for puts and calls are widely different, even for the same strikes and expiries. Do I need to account for this? Yeah. You need to buy whichever one has the lower delta, or more of. First Republic. I mean, yeah, but no one cares about that. Or at least I don't. This rally was almost obvious. Yeah, I mean they left behind too many calls yesterday. This is what I was talking about yesterday when I said they left behind a shitload of calls. Um like I didn't expect them to pump quite to 41.20, but far too much interest out of the got pushed out of the money. Like longer dated interest got pushed out of the money. The zero DTs got destroyed, but like the longer dated shit, they're gonna go back and grab. This is what happened in Feb too. If you guys remember when they set up the fucking, it was at the same price too. They set up that fucking wall at 4,100, and we just could not cross it. Like we'd dip to 4080, and then the next morning we'd open back up at like 4105. Wasn't the collar was at 4065? We were above the collar at the time, and gamma neutral was lower. They don't want us below gamma neutral, first of all, right? It's much harder for them to control price action below gamma neutral. It's fucking way more expensive because the market makers working against them on the sell side, right? Berlin grants permission to Poland to export old fighter jets to Ukraine. All right. Yeah, and eventually we dropped. Well, eventually they pulled back the 4100 calls, right? And they like once they'd gotten all their other calls closed, then they pulled back the support and let it drop. But we didn't drop till SLD. Ah, damn it. Are you gonna ghost RC's next play? Because I can't wait to buy low when it eventually drops and sell high when he makes it run. I'm just gonna do what I did with Baba and Nordstrom's and short it. And then not pick up any of his bags at the bottom. Yeah, this isn't nearly. Let me just be straight up with you guys in case you're trying to develop any biases. This isn't nearly as bearish as you'd want it to be. Calls are coming in. They're strong. There's some capitulation here, but I don't think it's going to last in any meaningful way. We may retest 4,100 at best, and probably not even that low. Got it. So gap fill incoming. Today feels like a good day to just ignore the market and keep my long-term puts for SLD. Maybe. Hmm. What's gamma neutral at for today on SPX? We gotta be just above it, right? 41.15.68. This can still break down a little more. All right. Well, some company decides to tell everybody that earnings isn't going to be so hot. Yeah. Today feels like a good day to just ignore the market and keep my long-term puts for SLD. Well, probably. Here's the question: who has more money and who has more time between the Bears and the Bulls? The Bulls have more time, but it's a slow shift, right? It's as they shed equities, more and more are going to become bearish, right? And when the majority is kind of switched over, then things will get bearish. Playing devil's advocate, but what if there's an SLD downside? Continue running 4,200, 4,300 into May. Yes, it's possible. Although, very rarely do we not see SLD downside. Thoughts on chocolate covered espresso beans? I haven't eaten that. I think I've had them before. They're meh. The Fed is like a college kid trying to get laid. Inflation is transitory. Come back for just one drink. Just the tip. Soft landing. Call me daddy. Mild recession by end of year. Oh, I see. You're being facetious. I get carpal tunnel using a mouse all day, and my arm has marks on it from leaning on my desk for months on end. Thoughts? I don't know. Get a better mouse. Sorry to hear that, Mako. I think the fact that we've had no significant downside at all for quite some time, SLD should be quite spicy this time around. I mean, generally speaking, if there isn't any like big risk off into SLD, it's usually pretty spicy. What kind of mouse and keyboard do you have? I have a Logitech mouse and a Ducky keyboard. Hold up, is the 3600 by July off the table, barring Taiwan drama? July is very far away from now. It looks bearish and I want to buy puts, but it also looks like a trap. I think it's a trap. Please remind me what SLD is. Supplemental liquidity deposits. Absolutely no volume on GME. Yeah, not very interesting today. Copy that. Just checking. The more bullish chat gets, the better for my puts. No. Logitech has one too. What? Oh, the vertical mice. Yeah, they're good if you have carpal, I think. I hope this is a trap so I feel better about my 40% loss. Could be worse, right? I suppose, yeah. Ghost of Dan, welcome back to Dillionaire. It's been a long time.
Happy birthday, Gherkin.
And by a long time, I mean like 2 days. What do I need to do in order to get the perma bear off my mind? I don't know, just trade what the market gives you? I didn't realize it went away. I appreciate it, man. Welcome back. The real question is, where's the bottom of the trap? Well, OI update on the call positioning. Calls are positioned pretty strongly up to about 41.25. Maybe 41.30, and then 41.40 I think is still sold. That's on straddling XLF with bank earnings. I guess you could. You think it'll move enough? If they're bad, they'll make SPX drop tomorrow. Yeah, they will. What do you think bank earnings are going to be like tonight? Tomorrow morning. right? There's none tonight, are there? No. So I ended up with April 8th, 4075, 4120 strangle. Let's see how this goes. Well, the top side of it's going pretty well, I'd imagine. I know your stream title is just a pun, but shortbread is such a solid pastry. Even when it's not made well, it's still delicious. It's dry and awful like sand. It's a good time to get longer dated QQQ or spy puts. I mean, they're pretty cheap right now. The streams taught me so much. When you were talking about traps 5-10 minutes ago, it made me think of how life would be different if I learned about traps before I met my wife and found out we shared genitalia. Thanks. Now I won't make that mistake twice. Thanks, Ghost of Dan. Did you check for squatters at your house? No. Oh, what the fuck? Ugh. Is it not at all strange that the market is pumping right before banks' earnings? It's almost looks like a last squeeze trap. Could be. You're still thinking end of month SPX ranges still in play. Wait, what? There's a very small window between sand and greasy to be good. Yeah, I've had various shortbreads. Oh, and like I said earlier, megaphone. Isn't this just a descending wedge into a breakout? Puts haven't printed yet on QQQ, but I feel the bounce coming, so I got calls and wrote it up to mitigate losses. Thanks to the lessons. Nice, dude. Congrats. So with MSTR, if you buy calls and BTC pumps 5-10K over the weekend, thoughts on a possible mini squeeze? Looks like it's still heavily shorted. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know if the shorts on MST are going to capitulate. Do you think bank earnings will have that much of an impact? They could. They could have a huge impact. If there's a lot of like negative forward guidance due to like MBS risk or anything like that, the impact could be extremely, extremely consequential. Thanks. Despite my best efforts, I've made enough, just enough this week to take my wife to Six Flags for her birthday for the weekend. Seriously, you're the man. Thanks, Danarchy. Congratulations. I hope you have fun at Six Flags. As long as it's not the one in New Jersey. I could use a cliff dive from SPX, to be honest. I don't know if we're quite there yet. How many days of FTDs are left? I think this is the last day with any, like, consequential FTDs, but 3. They'll be fully done Tuesday, but they fall off really hard after today. What was your first year of trading full time like? Pretty stressful because I was trading uh like equities during the day and crypto at night, and so I wasn't sleeping at all for like the first 6 months. I shorted SPY at the beginning of the day. It was depressing doing the same mistakes over and over with over leveraging. I mean, be really careful entering positions anywhere near open before any kind of trend is determined. Um, if you don't have a lot of capital or you're a newer trader, you should probably stay away from market open and market close. You're still not sleeping? I know. Yeah, I did pretty well on crypto. I don't like trading it anymore, but back then I did good on it. It was decent. It was really stable through that time period too, so that helped. Six Flags in Springfield, Mass, so up a notch from New Jersey. Oh yeah, big time. Going to work now. Crash the market while I'm gone. Okay, thanks. I'll do my best. I haven't missed 10 times the capital I had when I started trading SPX, and I still want to touch open. It's risky. I mean, it's a risk reward waiting, right? Sometimes the payout's insane. Usually it's not. I did start straddling recently. Nice. Yeah, it takes some practice, but you'll get better at it. Gherk, you saying you pretend to sleep when I come over? No, I'm not pretending. I just had a headache. Jimmy below 20 for SLD. We'll see. What's considered trading open? The first 15, 30 minutes. How high do they need to go on SPX to save their calls? Save all of them? 41.25, 41.30. It's crazy how a few 2, 3 DT calls can pay for all your put unrealized losses and then some. Yeah, that's actually pretty awesome. Thoughts on the conspiracy about Fen now and the world becoming a cashless society? How does that affect our ports if cash is trash? I mean, it'll still exist. It'll just be digitalized, right? Which it already basically is. Does this more clearly appear to be distribution on the video? Yeah, I believe so. Are we breaking out or dumping here? That's a good question. I don't know. I think this resistance is going to pull back a little, but we're picking up like I think we're going to pick up like an upside trend here as they fight for that last bit of room on the call side. So maybe a higher low before moving up. We may not get it. We may just consolidate and break up, but if it does break down, we'll probably get a higher low. How are futures doing? I think still struggling with 41.50. Yeah. Pushing up, but still struggling with 41.50. If XLF drops 2% in the morning, how many puts that expire tomorrow will pay out 150%? Seems way underpriced for that potential. Look at me. Well, not Zen. I can now say things like distribution without an immediate puffed. Thank you. Thanks, Natson. I appreciate it, dude. SLD is the next Wednesday. Yeah, SLD starts next Wednesday. SAX gonna reject off the top of the channel on the 15-minute. I think higher high? Nah, I don't know about that. Or are you talking about the downtrend? Maybe. Yeah, there's not a ton of futures volume. It does make it feel weird about how it's going to go into the end of the day. SX going to reject out the top of the channel on the 15-minute. We'll find out. It's getting very close, though. So the volume today is all options. Ban the bears. Thanks, Velvet. Gorg, I'm not getting any fills on my Lucy calls. I'm sorry. Also ban the bears. Thanks, Hazy. Ban the apes. um... Yeah, there's a ton of resistance in here. There's like 3600 or 3600. There's 3100. 31 300 is a big resistance. 31 350. So yeah, there's a few. I'm gonna get some 0 DTA puts. Sure. Hmm. Sending wedge right into that descending channel rejection. We're getting close to it. Was that just gonna break up? Probably. After all this time, how can SS still get riled up by Ryan Cohen tweets? It's literally been 2 years now. I don't know why they care, because anytime he buys anything else, they're like, oh, that's a distraction. Mm. Futures consolidation still looking bullish. Puts on the video though. It's not a terrible price for some. It's not. I mean, there's still some room to the upside to like 270. I mean, if the market breaks up here in the video, we'll probably see 270 again today. Dixie getting heavily rogered? Yeah, I know. I can't wait for the hedge fund performance to come out end of year. And top performer strat was I just shorted everything RC bought. SPX looks like your consolidation drawing of upward momentum yesterday. Yep. Remember, it's the 6th test that gets us through. Just got a meeting. Can you explain why SPY is still holding these levels after the Fed saying a recession is coming? Because people don't want to lose their money. Fed mild recession. White House. The White House says it sees no sign of a U.S. recession ahead. Looks like we'll get a nice depression. I don't think we're going into a depression. Could April OPEX present another cover call selling opportunity? Possibly. Yeah, if we don't see negative arbitrage resolved by then yeah, it's a possibility. On the subject of rogering, has anyone ever compared you to Captain Pugwash? I don't think so, but I could be wrong. This consolidation is spooky. Why? Still call interest coming in between 41.25 and 41.30. Huh. Because they're 2 hours in and nothing is broken yet. Well, they're not buying futures very heavily right now. Have you seen another stock have negative arbitrage for this long and not resolve? Upstart. Revlon when it was still being traded on NYSE. Um, I think Nordstrom's back when it ran to like 40 last year. Do you guys remember that? Like when Nordstrom's earnings went apeshit. And it ran up really hard, like doubled in price in one day. Um, I think that might have been, yeah, that might have been the worst, like worst like carry period for negative arbitrage I'd seen. Not the biggest spike in it I've ever seen. Jimmy's got that one beat hands down, but their negative arbitrage persisted for like 6 months. No futures pumps? Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone's really buying into futures very heavily. Otherwise, we would have broken 41.20 already. Or there's just a lot of sellers at 41.50 right now. Fed bids for 4-week bills totaled 1.4 billion. Futurama looks more likely. Futures look more likely to break down than up. Bear trap? Bull trap, you mean? No, I think just a little bit more consolidation on the long side. Calls are still coming in. They're just building up like a big pile of calls, and then they'll buy futures. The longer arbitrage goes unresolved, the more likely a big event up or down. Well, the longer it goes unresolved, the more FTDs you're going to have, right? Because arbitrars are going to come in to, close that arbitrage gap, right? But if their order flow is all internalized, then the arbitrage persists. So they'll just keep coming back and trying to close it, right? Have you tried beanless coffee? How's that work? How many DT do you typically get to play SLD for shorter term stuff? 7 to 10 days. Purchase Monday of SLD next week. I usually buy them on like Wednesday, and maybe like 5 DT. Like add the money 5 DT. I don't prep for SLD. I try to confirm it if I can. Buying high Vega low delta VIX calls 30 to 60 DT at these levels is exhilarating. I guess so. They're about to be a lot more fairly priced. It's hot water. It's nice. Ugh. Same like leafless tea. I'm not exciting enough to talk about. I've traded it before. It's okay. Calls are super cheap on it. Don't say it like that. I'm sorry. I really don't like VIX speculation. I think it's a fucking waste of money. Like, if you think VIX is gonna spike, why wouldn't you just buy like a 2700 SPX with like nine months of theta and get like 15 Vega? Instead of like trying to buy out of the money VIX calls with like 1 Vega. How many tests of this downtrend are we gonna have? I don't know. It's very choppy. Is Gush too generic for an oil investment? And should I focus on DD for a specific company? Probably. Fair enough. This pump feels like it's about spent. I wish that were true. Because of the Vana charm flow? Ah. Easier to be a bull than a bear. Yeah. Morning ending. They could be largely sold. I don't think they are. The volume on the call side's pretty high. I've been out of X for a long time. I don't really have any interest in getting back into it right now. I'm not super bullish on steel currently. Hmm. I don't think any of them are a good short going into earnings or a good long. I would just stay the fuck away from them. Why is everyone always trying to play earnings? What strike are those calls trapped at? Like, most of the ones that were trapped were at 4,100. But there's some all the way up to like 4,130. It diminishes the higher you get. Can you call your boss a BlackRock and tell them to buy their futures already? Waiting on the rip up here. Thoughts on HBM making some acquisition moves? It's pretty exciting, right? I'd much prefer they make acquisitions right now than they distribute more dividend to shareholders. Like, I like the focus on growth and even more copper exposure, right? For what was already kind of highly leveraged copper exposure. Yeah, I'm all about it. That makes them the what, second or third? Fourth? Maybe the fourth largest copper miner in Canada? Something like that. You're saying 15 Vega on those 2700s or zero point 0.5 Vega on something like Jan 24 800s? Um, it would be like, let's see. Probably not going to find anything too far. Well, here, like March 28th. These probably have shit strikes. Kind of do. like 3,000 for Jan 24 is 5 Vega. I guess you could go out to like December. Yeah, these are 19 Vega. Sick. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, if the market crashes. Some of these don't really have enough OI. The 800s have 1.6 Vega. It goes up real quick. 2000s have 9.5. 2500, you're already up at 14 Vega. But the lack of OI makes them kind of less attractive. The 3000's interesting. But it's a $20,000 contract. You ready for the 7th push? Fuck, I don't know. It's looking a little more bullish now. So if futures is gonna break up, like I think they want to retest the like 4175 level. You know it's not $20,000? VIX calls. Yeah, but how much do you have to spend on VIX calls to get a 17x multiplier on implied volatility? Hmm? Also, VVIX doesn't have like that much range. Shh. Yeah, don't forget, Mr. Poopy Pants, as those contracts get closer to the money on SPX, they get even more Vega. So, you know, if you got the like 3,000 put, right? And the market dropped to 3,200, you'd be at like 30x implied volatility. You know what we're gonna do now, right? We're gonna do this. So we got 3,200, which is like the high end of a market crash right now, right? And then implied volatility. Let's say VIX bumps 25%. Slide IV to max? No. It's fucking ridiculous. Is it likely the markets rocket up since Powell said no recession till end of 2023? When did he say that? Because the Fed minutes yesterday that came out said that a recession was likely before the end of 2023. Wouldn't OI increase as we reach those levels? Yeah. Every day feel like I'm taking crazy pills watching this market climb. At least it's finally kind of starting to break up. Fucking took long enough. Is it gonna fail again? I have shit to do today. No, because, you have volatility sellers and stuff that are targeting those strikes. Some of them have decent OI. No, I don't really trade NDX very often. It's really illiquid. They've talked about splitting it a bunch of times, but then they never do it. If they split NDX, it would get traded a lot more. If it was like 1-4, where it is now. They've talked about doing that too, making SPX contracts smaller. Chances we see 41.45 today. Pretty slim. I think kind of our upper range here is like 130, 131. Reject off 41.27. Maybe. I don't know. There's decent interest at 41.30. We could carry as high as 41.30, 41.31. What makes a stock have positive or negative beta? It's how it reacts, how it performs against primary index. So if it performs in line with the primary index, like moves and performs at the same rate, then it would have, you know, positive beta. If it moves inverse to the index, it would have negative beta. I said 41.75 on futures, which is roughly 41.30, 41.31 on SPX. Although they're not really buying a lot of futures today. Can you confirm that when data comes in, the data center cranks on that data to make an updated model? When raw material comes in, a building or infrastructure cranks on it and something's refined? God, that shareholder meeting was fucking stupid. SPX breakdown wants to test 41.30, 41.35, back to 4100. I mean, probably stay there through the end of the day. I mean, that depends on call capitulation and stuff, but I don't see a lot of puts coming in right now. Gherkin, I turned 5K into 26K in a month. Nice. That's fucking awesome, Dwayne. What's up, Fubo today? Not able to listen much these days. Looks like it's going up today. Not a lot going on. I know they picked up some, or picked CBS back up. I think recently they got the MLB package, or rights to the like MLB package, or some MLB package, and then there's something else they got broadcasting rights to recently as well. Huge rumors of buyouts. Fubo Action FTDs could be, yeah. Probably FTDs combined with pressure from NASDAQ and IWM. Yesterday, Fubo down 10%. Today, Fubo up 10%. So not much going on if people scroll out a bit. Nope. People just look at the last 4 candles on the 1 minute atomic. You should know this by now. How fucked are my 21 April SPX 39.15? I got them at 14.50. Sounds like they're pretty fucked. Did you ever consider hedging them or rolling them up? As we have moved further and further away from your strike. As someone who's had Fubo, Hulu, and YouTube in the past month, Fubo has the best sports experience and interface, while Hulu has the best overall catalog. YouTube TV is just dog water. Well, hopefully it's good enough to lead to an acquisition at some point. M&A season will be coming up if we have a big correction. YouTube TV will dominate with the NFL exclusivity. Do they have NFL exclusivity? Just Sunday Ticket? Okay. But Sunday Ticket's broadcast on like 10 other platforms, right? Like you can get it through basically every cable provider. It's on Dish Network. I think DirecTV has it. No? So they exclusively have Sunday Ticket. When did this happen? Did someone just add Google into the growing Fubo bidding war? Only YouTube TV now? And then Amazon has, what, Thursday? Like 5 months ago? I don't pay attention to football. SPX momentum looking sluggish or what? No, it just looks like it's going to fail this breakout and then consolidate some more. We start a weekly meeting on the voice channel where we share the toilet sounds we make while making brown? No. Then we give a short description of the mess we made and the food that caused it? Absolutely not. But we got to make sure to include undoing zipper and piss stream before the brown. Nope. No, no, and no. All three. Definitely not. Was JPA saying inflation was transitory? Him trying not to be transphobic? Was he scared of getting canceled? I don't think so. Sunday Ticket can be repurchased through YouTube without a YouTube TV account, but it's $100 more. If you have a base YouTube package, it's $100 less. So you get the YouTube package for free. Yep. Interesting. Call side profitability dropping off. Rejected. I don't know if that persists. Probably just turn around and test it again here. This doesn't look very bullish, to be honest. It's making it hard to hold calls. It's making it hard to hold everything. I just got stopped out of my straddle. Shut the fuck up, phone. I know. Stop loss huh? Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. Maybe just some call side capitulation. They didn't want to hold, or a little bit of both. Can you leave the stream up with futures, SPX, VIX, and GME charts? I might not be able to. I would normally, but yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do that today. We got my lunch delivery, and I know you're leaving at 1. I wanted to ask if you could speak on where SPX can go with bullish or bearish bank earnings if we close in the 4130 range. It seems like there's more downside potential than upside from bank earnings. ZOM 130, XOXOXO. This is a good question. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of upside potential to the bank earnings. I think they'll be overly scrutinized, which is never a good thing. Um, there's going to be fear of any significant risk factors for the banks. Whether their earnings are positive or not, they've consistently underperformed expected like net interest cash flow. So yeah, I don't think bank earnings are going to be a big positive. But yeah, we have delta neutral at like 4080, so yeah, there's definitely some support there. Mom's doing okay. Thanks for asking. Can you explain how to properly set up a straddle with SPX? You buy a long call and a long put out the money. The key thing is having stops and waiting for trends to form. Generally, yeah. Hmm. That was a good time to short, but less so now. Mm. Hmm. What futures doing? VIX started to tick up a bit. A little bit. Futures are still pretty fucking flat. Futures don't look particularly impressive right now. Like we've bounced up above like that fucking VWAP again. But we're running into resistance here at like the between 4150 and 4145. If this does break out, you know, it can probably pass 4150 and retest that upper trend. And I think over time it's going to. It's just taking a very long time. Like volume already turned around in the consolidation. It's starting to pick up now. Buy side looks stronger. It's just very, very slow to be realized. Is your mom okay, man? Yeah, she's doing good. Thanks for asking. Futures pump here. We'll see. I'm not Amish. OPEX is seen as a time for potential VUPs, but as Feb 2020 shows, yeah, sure, COVID. It can also come with VDS, violent downsides. With regards to settlement, what could cause OPEX ouchie downs? I mean, generally speaking, after SLD, right, you have your so the calls that are on the chain at SLD expire, like into OPEX expire, right? And then the market maker starts dumping the hedge. You slide into negative gamma territory. The hedge starts to compound to the downside. Participants getting their SLD settlements begin to leverage the downside. So yeah, I mean, OPEX can also go the other way. Absolutely. I hate NVIDIA. I know you do. Since the market is so slow, let's talk about something to get the blood pumping. Options, the Trump trial, Carl's wife, or whether chili is a soup or a stew. Chili's a stew. It's not a fucking soup. There's no broth in a chili. It's definitely a stew. Who the fuck thinks chili's a soup? It's not a fucking chunky soup. Stop being contrarian. I've always wondered, would you rather have average intercourse or trade futures? It's the question on everybody's lips on days like these. You can do both at the same time if it's average enough. I'm just saying. That's what laptops are for. Tell that to Panera. Hmm. That's not chili. That's just chunky soup. Gherk, what should I do if a rando girl wants to get freaky and I don't have a Jimmy, but she pulls one out and it's a Magnum? I can't fill one of those out. Uh, I, I don't know what to tell you. Why do they serve chili at soup bars? They serve bread at soup bars. Is bread a soup? Don't erect your straw man here, Danimal. Just heard your answer about your mom. Sadly, had a lot of experience in recent years taking care of family members with health issues. Hope all will be back to normal shortly. Should be. Yeah, doctor said like 2 or 3 days, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. This plan worked better than I could have dreamed. We successfully had 2 minutes more entertaining. Your Upstart 13 CSP, is that PT for a short as well? Or was that more to get a cost basis of 13 on their shares? More to get a cost basis of 13 on their shares. Come on, futures. You can break 4150. I believe in you. According to Cube Rule, wouldn't chili be a salad? Yeah, technically. What is a soup dumpling? Like the Asian version? Or like the Midwest version? One of them is a scoop of raw Bisquick slopped on top of a pile of mush and then baked. The other one is a dumpling full of soup. Dim sum. Like the little, they're delicious. You know what I'd do if I had $1 million, Girk? 2 chicks at the same time, man. Always wanted to do that, and chicks dig dudes with money. Are you gonna sneak in a reference to the stream during the nurse interview to make sure they're not watchers? Possibly, yeah. Following the trend rather than trying to be a contrarian has never felt so good like it has so far today. Just a few thick socks on your Johnson. If the socks don't stay on, you can wrap it in some duct tape or jet a Johnson sleeve. Get a Johnson sleeve. Oh, okay. So I see what you're saying. So, like when you're wearing boots that are oversized. Can we see the futures chart? I'm curious how close we are to breaking 4150. I think that answered your question. Or at least I hope it did, because we broke 4150. If you're ever in Denver, get a chalon for the French onion soup dumplings. Ew. I've never filled a bread bowl with just bread. Wouldn't. Never mind. Isn't that kind of like the equivalent of taking a bunch of bread and wadding it up into a ball, like when you're a little kid? That's the Tang Bao. If you have not had them, go to Ding Tai Fang. What, the soup dumplings? Yes, I have. I've had them a bunch of places. Fell below 41.50. Lame. Still looks bullish. Although it's starting to dwindle. Espresso value play yet? No. The owner of an IT tech co is accused of killing SQ guy in SF. Not some rando? Okay. I don't know what a bread ball is. You're a liar. Funny story, DTF is the initials we use for Ding Tai Fung. Hmm. That's not what we use them for. Did you cut the short side of the straddle? No. It's got like 13 DTE. Would you buy September Jan VIX calls out of the money up to like 30 right now with this huge stuffing? Probably not. Not that you can't, I just wouldn't. Traded my very first SVX contract today, 414, 4120C. Stopped out at 18% gain. That was exhilarating. Nice, dude. Congrats. That's awesome. If the market doesn't break down for SLD, the only dumpings I'll be eating are dog turds floating in ditch water. You think we will double top with yesterday's high? Possibly. Do you have a prediction for bank earnings? No? I just think they'll be heavily scrutinized. I don't think their interest rate income is nearly high enough, and I think investors are not going to like that, or the reason why that's the case. And that's because they bought far too many securities that they can't mark to market now because they're at a loss. No one cared before, but now that they do, it's a problem. Does Mama Girk know you stream or just trade? I have no idea. Brett, thank you so much, man. And congrats on your 0 DT or 1 DT SPX call. I don't know who you gifted, but welcome to Cornishon, Uncle Diesel. My company that I work for offers me too much as an employee stock as I want per paycheck at a 10% discount at the lowest price that quarter. Does it make sense to just full port paycheck? Huh. Interesting. Seems like a good deal. I don't know what company you work for, but If we break down here, where do we fall to? Could we see a gap fill? It doesn't look good right now. No data tomorrow. We definitely have data tomorrow. Tomorrow's retail sales and the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Preliminary. There's a shitload of data tomorrow. Generally, there's a little pump before SLD. In Thai, the number 5 is pronounced ha, so they type 555 instead of LOL. Huh. We're in the same boat as yesterday for an end of day dump. Maybe. Not yet, but maybe towards the end of the day it'll get more bearish. Lots of attention on their mortgage shit, I'm sure. Yeah. What sort of range do you think we can test for a pre-SLD pump? I just said like 4130, 4131. Right now, at least. Unless something changes and more calls come in. My upside range for the week's at like what, 4150? Wouldn't that be a nice triple top, including Tuesday? Yeah. Why did I sell CCs on GME for the first time in a while, and apparently it doesn't get shorted anymore? It's still very early for it to get shorted. They also didn't blow off that much liquidity, so it didn't get super liquid, so we didn't see shorting come in really fast, and IV died after like a day. What SPX strikes are you targeting for SLD? 4100, 4080, 4050, and 4000. There are IRS limits on employee stock purchase programs. To whoever asked that question about company stock, I think it's 25K limit per year. Oh, okay. I mean, it's a pretty sweet deal right now if you're buying 10% below the current price. It might not be such a sweet deal in a few weeks, but yeah, it looks like they're letting you buy at like 67, which is pretty fucking sweet. You get a 3.4% yield too on your dividend. KFC owns so much random stuff. Great company. They make a lot of food for poors. Yeah, but their growth over the next like 5 years doesn't look much better than a 5-year treasury note. I just made a bit of money on a scalp play. Not much, but I'm trying to claw back losses, and profit is profit. Fair enough. I don't know what the people are talking about. I have sold and bought dozens of CCs each at 25-50%. Future back through 41.50. I know. Hence the higher price. I don't want to go play something that Wall Street Bets owns. Is there a short RC ETF I can full port into? Also, reverse sear on steak with garlic chimichurri compound butter is the best way. Fight me. Okay. That doesn't sound terrible. When you sell the shares, the 10% discount counts as income. Can't you just buy them in like an IRA though? Yes, that's what I thought. Can you keep futures on the screen? Why? It's not like futures and SPX are doing shit that's very different. Because you have it in real time. But it's like on the 5-minute count. Like there's nothing going on here that you can't see on SPX. You don't need to watch futures to trade SPX. It helps, but any recommended reading for learning chart patterns? Technical analysis of the financial markets is usually what I tell people to learn. I wouldn't trade chart patterns outside of like intraday or short-term swings, but they can be useful for as part of a longer-term analysis. I don't think you're timed out. Last steak I made was sous vide in butter and fresh herb de Provence, reverse seared at 525 degrees, 5 minutes on each side, with roasted bacon, maple Brussels sprouts, and roasted fingerlings. Lovely. Is Future's gonna get some fucking volume here or what? I've started consolidating while markets rise deemed bullish or bearish. Can you look at the chart for me? I've looked at Upstart's chart every single day this week, and usually about once an hour. What it's doing is just moving with the index like fund flow, right? When the index fund flow gets cut off or the index is reverse direction, Upstart will drop really, really hard because it has positive beta. It dropped really hard yesterday too. Positive beta is great when the markets are moving up, terrible when the markets are moving down. It's still illiquid as fuck, but it can become a lot more illiquid than it currently is. So there's definitely room to the downside. What's up, Trina? A little bit of consolidation here. Hmm. Do you see any SPX volume to suggest it's going to reject around this level? I think that's all it was going to do. Have you checked the options lately? Not for a little bit. Yeah, still looks pretty bullish. Put volume's starting to pick up, though. Any chance we see 41.55 on SPX today? It seems very unlikely, given the current positioning, that we're going to see anything higher than 41.30. Even 41.30 looks like it's going to be a struggle so far. VVIX might be going up. Theta decaying corpse. I've been away for a bit. Any updates on Fubo? They picked up like an MLB thing. I think they regained the CBS programming that they lost. What was it, towards the end of last year? What's the time delay or correlation between futures and SPX? There isn't a time delay. Futures are leaned on heavily to hedge SPX. They're a more liquid and more efficient market, right? Indexes, kind of go, like stocks. into, you know, like SPY, SPX, or like SPY, VOO, like VTO, shit like that. SPX, futures. Well, minis, then futures. Good time to average down FSLR. Would you buy May put still? Only if they were at the money. Like, what's it trading at today? I know I wanted to pick up some, but I never got a chance. It's still a little lower than I'd want to buy them. But if it hits 215, which it may not, but if it were to hit 215, I wouldn't mind like 210, 205 for May. Remember when you almost had to take delivery of oil? Good times. That was fucking close. There wasn't a lot of liquidity on the contract I had. It was problematic. Eventually, I just took like the small loss and sold it at the bid, but I just got so close to expiration. Hey, Greg, I hate to sound ignorant, but since it's quiet, some of the traders I've started following recently keep referring to breadths. That's not a term I've heard you use. Is it fluff? Sounds like it. I'm assuming they're referring to the distance between 2 points in an oscillating average range. Yeah. They got me 60% on zero DTs though, so decent day. Thanks as always, brother. Off to work I go. I hope all goes well with your mom, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, Celtic. Have a good one, man. Congrats. Ooh, that got close. Let's add a couple Baba June 95p here. Might not be bad. What's it running at today? Baba's up 2% on the drop. I'd probably wait till the indexes calm down a little bit because it might pull back up into a range around like 100 where the 95s are really awesome and cheaper. Hey Girk, would you be magnanimous enough to look at the CVS ticker? Yeah, I can check it out. Any thoughts if we maybe headed to 80 after this bounce off the 0618 fib? You mean just resistance? Just actual resistance? All good if it's annoying, ask. Appreciate the learning. It's just resistance. You don't have to use Fibonacci's. They're garbage. There's some upside potential here, but only to like I think only to like 70, 76, 77. Like high 76, low $77 range. And then I think it's going to fail after. You're approaching the dividend too, don't forget. So you have some short covering helping price action right now. Yeah. I probably wouldn't want to hang out in a trade in that through the dividend. Greg is a billionaire. He has 10,000x covered calls. No, I don't. I have 700 that I've sold. I feel like I'm going to average down to video puts until 2025. I understand the feeling. We just need Apple to hit 165 so we can go back down. I'm just going to sell more bear spreads if it hits 165 again. Fibs are support and resistance made easy. Why not use them? They're less accurate. And they don't tell you anything about the strength of the support and resistance, right? You're using a natural ratio in a mathematical system. It's fucking absurd. Fubo really needs to figure out their Turner contract. 2 years in a row, no March Madness. Madness for a sports TV provider. Also, why I sold at a loss at $2.35. I mean, I don't think their focus has really been on basketball. Some, but not a lot. It's second long-term channel on the log scale. The dividend is confusion. 76.7 is decent. Yeah, I think part of what you're seeing is there's a little bit of short covering going into the dividend as they move to take profits after the most recent drop, right? But I mean that's probably not going to carry it higher than the previous high. And then I'd probably want to flip short at the conversion point. If I ask nicely, do you think my broker would let me have my calls back for what I sold them at so I can resell them here where we're higher? Probably not. You could always roll them. That's on bear spreads on MSTR. Eh, they're okay. I mean, they're nice because of the volatility. The volatility generally doesn't fall off a lot, though. And I don't like carrying exposure because it's such a volatile stock. Like you get an overnight gap up in like BTC and your fucking bear spreads are destroyed. Like I'd rather just have, directional exposure and then fucking close it. This thing running out of gas? Starting to. We've been stuck in the $1 range on SPX for 20 minutes. Jesus Christ, just make a move. Is calls on JPM regarded, or would they have profited from deposits after people left regional banks? I mean, they're not going to have any profit from depositors moving over, but they've definitely had depositors move over. At least not on this earnings report, right? Maybe the next earnings. Stopped out of your calls. Yep, looks like it. Stopped out of all my calls now. Straddle too. Sorry to hear that, Thunder. Still wise to dodge OPEC's covering window with GMECCs. I don't know if you expect much from April. I don't expect a lot yet, but that can change next week. That really depends on how hard we get shorted, how fast, and if it spikes implied volatility. Hey, Gherk, I hate to sound ignorant, but since it's quiet and some of the traders I've started following recently keep referring to Anemoy, oh, fuck off. Nothing is worse than not going after it, Bill Burr. Suppose so. Oh, I gotta take off soon. Shit. Hmm. Wait, you're leaving us? Yeah, I have to go do something at 1 o'clock. I might be back before the end of the day, but I might not be. You out of your Netflix puts? No? I have a bunch of time on my Netflix puts. I don't really care about today's bounce. I'll just buy more. Unsubbed later. You're returning chickens to Costco? No. Time for puts on SPX. Not yet, but maybe in like an hour. You know, like the call side today isn't really realizing a lot of profitability. It's really minimal. I think it's gonna break down at some point today, but yeah, I would say like an hour and a half, maybe a little longer before you see that. About hiring of the nurse, are you going to use the brokerage hire nurse function? Or are you going to enter the position manually so you don't get burned on the spread? Thanks, Pickleman. Can you call out an end of day price range? I don't know, because it'll depend on if like the call side starts to capitulate or if futures gets rejected hard again. I would say right now it looks like we're probably closing to the upside of like 4110. At least 4100. But like if the call side starts to break down, that can change really fast. Like the last 2 days, the call side just got crushed out by massive futures dumps, right? I still have the put side of the 421 of a straddle. Better to cut at 50% loss and reposition later. What strike? $49 straddle from yesterday? Oh, 4090 from yesterday? I don't know, I'm still holding mine. I'll probably hold it through the weekend. I know you're busy the rest of the afternoon, but any chance you could still post an end of day recap? Yeah, maybe if I get a chance, I might be able to. It'll be later tonight though. Wasn't sure if 4120 was enough theta. It took a big hit today, and the call side was just break even. How are you break even on a 4090 straddle on the call side? Did you close like this morning If you close this morning, yeah, I could see that. You'll all be okay. Let me run through some data real fast for everyone before I take off. All right. Call side still looks decent, although volume's starting to trim down up to the 4130 level. And support carries down through 4120. So these levels are strong on the call side. If the 4130 test occurs and it breaks down and rejects, and it breaks down below 4120, that becomes bearish very quickly. So yeah, a rejection at 4130 that falls below 4120, bearish. For the 0 DTEs. That's probably about it. Let me see if any big trend changes have happened on the longer term time frames. Not particularly. There's some more put buying going on at like 4110 through 4100. The gamma flip point has moved up. It's almost at 4100 now. Friday's expiration still looks pretty stacked on the call side, so I don't know if that's going to change with bank earnings or not, but I would say if this breaks down, then you would want to, ideally, if you're entering overnight straddles, you probably want it after a breakdown occurs, if a breakdown occurs. Otherwise, you have to buy calls in the upper range, which really sucks. Futures are still holding up. Kind of just stair stepping up slowly. There's a failure point pretty close by at 41.55. Remember, any downside cross of 41.20 gets pretty bearish today. The more it crosses, like if you really want to confirm it, it's at like 41.15. So yeah, 41.20, 41.15 for like a really solid confirmation. At those levels, we could dip towards 4100 by the end of the day. Remember, if we stay high, so if we stay above 4120 into the end of the day, put positioning needs to come in to lock in delta neutral positioning into tomorrow morning. And yes, there will be some because there's retail sales, and not as much as we had for like PPI and CPI, but a little bit. And also they're gonna want to straddle bank earnings. Yeah, I'm gonna be back tomorrow morning. I'll be on Discord tonight too. Probably. Yeah, I'm taking off. I've got a bunch of shit to do today, so but yeah. You guys should be good. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys later.